Becca, you want to take it?
All right. Welcome, Trap Souls. Start now. Welcome, Trap Souls. I am Ryan. I'm here with my co-host, Mark, and our guest.
The one and only, Becca Freshley.
And something else.
Something else. What an intro, Becca.
I told you I always deliver.
Lead us in.
So, as they were telling me when I first sat down, the only other person to set off a pod during a interview and podcast situation has been Sammy. Yep. So I feel like I'm very gracious to take that secondary spot.
They just spirit only likes women that are under 5 feet tall.
I'm 4'11" and a half.
That's under 5 feet still. 5, 4. My daughter doesn't set it off. She's not that short.
Becca Freshley, number 2 in the room, number 1 in our hearts, ladies and gentlemen.
Cheers to that.
All right, so obviously with the round pod going off, something's here besides us three. Becca joined us at Hunters Tavern, previously Hunters Inn, and we're going to go with that. So what were your experiences? What were your thoughts going into it to begin with?
So my thoughts going into it were open-minded. You know, I just wanted to see what was going to happen. I didn't expect anything to happen, but I know, the way I walk through the world, I've had a lot of spiritual experiences, and it was definitely added into there.
Yeah.
So.
You hear all that shit? I'm like,
it's okay. You can cut that.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter.
He doesn't cut anything. Let's be real here.
I do.
Especially when he says, I'm going to cut it. Never cut
Definitely does not cut it.
No, the merch stuff I cut.
You cut the merch stuff.
Every time y'all get to the same argument.
We do. So, I mean, like a lot of people that are never done investigations before, you done ghost tours, Gettysburg.
Yes.
And,
Wait, Gettysburg. Was that where?
We talked about Devil's.
So, like many people,
yeah.
not knowing what they're doing. I mean, people watch TV shows, they go on ghost tours, and a lot of people think it's fake. And most shows are, I'm not saying they're fake, they're exaggerated.
Well, I definitely don't believe there's any sort of exaggeration. If my emotions are like what I say seemed exaggerated, I'm very expressive. That's my emotions.
How exaggerated?
Obviously.
And as my phone just beeped too, like, wow. Anyways, yeah, I'm very expressive. I definitely feel like I'm very energetic as well. And it's just.
Well, they say that the spirits lead to the energy.
Yeah, and I'm definitely a pure spirit. I try to keep myself guarded and just close to my energy, but also bright. I try to be a bright light in this dim, dark world because, that one feels pretty dark.
We can use more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that, because people, there's different people. I'm not saying a lot of stuff is exaggerated. I'm not saying you, but on shows. But you were like pretty holding dowsing rods. Were pretty like, oh my God, what's happening?
I've never done that before.
Yeah, so then you got someone like me. I'll see a shadow across my face, be like, hey, what's up, dude? That's the way I am. And Aaron would be like, oh my God, a shadow. People are different when they go in. They're different. I mean, Mark, you've had some experiences. What experiences have you had? I mean,
just in my personal life before getting into this, and we've talked about it on different podcasts. I lived in an apartment that was haunted. I got assaulted by something in the night. Doors would open, walk past me, stuff like that. But my biggest thing, and the reason I jumped in here, is I want to be that voice that tries to challenge whatever it is. Find a reason for it because you watch all these shows and you watch the movies and so forth and so on. And everything that happens is a poltergeist or a demon, right?
It's always got to be something
it's
crazy.
Something, but it could be as easy as the furnace kicking on or some electrical outlets or something. So I try to be that voice of maybe it's this. and try to debunk it.
Yeah.
Not even that. I mean, everybody says demon or evil spirit, but it can be someone like we ran to at Hunters, someone that just wants to talk, a safe space. I mean, you got connection with a girl.
I definitely feel like I did. I definitely feel like, I don't know, you guys won't understand this, but my woman viewers, you guys definitely will. There is just something with womanhood, like a woman to woman will understand each other on a level that a male will never be able to comprehend. And I truly feel that's why she was so drawn to me, is because I was a woman and I did possibly, I don't know if that's for sure what she experienced. Like, we don't know what was actually, it's just dowsing rods. Who knows what that was?
Right.
Like, it could have just been something trying to trick us too, to make us feel bad. I have no idea, but all I do know is I just felt heavy when I was holding those dowsing rods. It was like I was just holding these posts in my hand and they were just moving, like almost like in the wind, but there was no wind. I was like, crazy. And when the answers started flowing, there was a point where I almost cried. So I felt very sensitive. So maybe it did feel like something happened. Who knows? I don't know any of the past that was there.
Well, I can say that, and I don't want to talk for Patty, but the owner of Hunters, I stopped in and talked to her last week, and kind of go with what you said on the womanhood thing. When I asked her how she took it and how she enjoyed it, she loved it. She said she loved the outcome because she felt that there was a female presence there from our investigation, and she felt that they were extremely comfortable and they were being brought in, because they're new owners to Hunters, that they were being brought in with open arms from the spirit. So she feels more comfortable being alone in the building or with a limited crew because she feels that they want her there.
Right.
So that's positive.
Right. And I'm glad that we were able to at least give that confirmation. I specifically remember what we're talking about. And there was so much activity to when they said that she was liked. They liked what they were doing with the place. They were enjoying it. So I think that's super important, that the residual energy that exists there likes it, because I feel when you try to conflict it, bad things happen.
Right. We don't want the bad things to happen. No.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, when Patty said, before we came in, she said,
"Thank you.
You step away now."
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. Before we did the investigation, she said she felt something there.
Yeah.
That might be nothing.
Right.
So it could be that woman presence. And, before they left, they said she feels good about helping out this spirit soul, as their safe space. Like, they can be safe there. It made her a lot more comfortable. And that's
really what's important,
exactly.
Especially because she has to exist there,
right.
Like, that is her place of work.
Right.
She has to be comfortable, especially if she's going to be alone in the facility.
Right.
And I'm really glad we were able to bring her a sense of comfort and peace.
Yeah. And that's Ryan's biggest thing, talking to him offline, right? He doesn't talk about it a lot on the podcast, but Ryan's big thing when he started this group is anybody can go in and get a story and get excitement and draw viewers. Ryan's big point to this was if he can go in and help families in their homes feel more comfortable and light where they live or where they work, that's his greatest accomplishment. So that's a story in itself.
Yeah, I mean, we, as human nature, we always fear the unknown. I mean, that's why people are scared. You hear a bump, you get scared. But can it just be a kid wanting to get your attention?
Yeah.
Right.
Or a girl that wants
someone to talk to.
That
she can be a girl with.
And I believe like 90, I can't put a percentage on it, 90+% is just someone that wants to be there.
Yeah.
And they're not demonic, they're not evil, they just, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And that's what most spirits are, in my belief, from what I've come across.
Right.
So I mean, it's cool. I mean, we talked about womanhood, and I don't know if you saw the one podcast we talked with Savage Energy, and that was one of the big topics that came across to me, because a lot of these places we do are back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's women were looked down back in the day. So I think a lot of females get more connected.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I truly believe that if you look back 1860s, remember living history, reenactor, looking back at that time period, some of the only people they could trust of women, the only women other people could trust would be other women. Like they couldn't trust other men. They would be in domestic situations. I mean, you got to think who helped out with childbirth back then? Did a male? No, absolutely not. You know, so like there was a lot of things that women were tied together through that they now is a different story. So you have to think back in the day, it was a lot more, it takes a village than it is today. There's a lot more independence today.
That's a good point.
Compared to it.
I mean, back in the day, there's two different sides of, like, women, will go to you, as a spirit saying, hey, I'm here, help me, thank you, whatever. But then on the other side, a man seeing you.
Oh, I feel like I made that guy angry.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the attic in a few minutes here. So.
I got like shivers thinking about that. Like he wanted me alone up there, and that was not about to happen. What a creep!
I mean, it goes both ways. Like,
yeah,
you have that woman that trusts you because you're a woman, then you got the man saying you're showing too much ankle. This is cool.
Or making fun of my lisp.
Yeah. All right, you like to talk. I mean, that's something back in the day.
I was gonna say a woman would not be able to take a man to Yap City back then. That's for sure.
Yeah.
1910s cannot handle you.
No,
say that, right?
You would have been a witch. You probably
Witch.
You would be there.
Yeah.
James Allegheny State Asylum.
Truly. Electroshock therapy.
So let's get into Hunters Tavern because that's why we're here. You had your first experiences going in there. I think we talked about in the first podcast that I put out. So we won't beat that to death. Sammy's Estes method.
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like there was something wanting to talk through her, and her energy just got so drained afterwards. And then I feel like it picked up when you were, listening, doing the Estes method right after. And then I would notice she was just sitting there, just like this, like the whole time. Like it was just, she was so drained. I was like, "Hey, girl, you okay?" And she's like, "I'm just tired." So it was like, then she immediately, like you said, woke up when we were about to leave.
Yeah.
It was
like she got a second wind. Yeah. Because she came in very positive and ready to go. And she's like, "I'll jump in. Let's do the Estes method." And as soon as the Estes method was done, her energy just went out. And it was just very strange. I don't know.
And she got drained, and it was a rough night for her.
I was going to say, if you come in a little bit drained, and I feel like they could just suck you.
Yeah, and they know.
So. And she's pretty tough. I mean, when we were at Madison, she was energetic the whole time, except for her experience she had in the attic. So I was surprised when all her energy was gone so quick at
I think
Hunters.
That had something to do with it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, because she had that. It was pretty traumatic for her.
Right.
Experience. What happened?
Listen to the podcast.
So we were at the Madison Seminary, and she did solos, everything throughout the night. Everything was great. At the end of the night, myself, Ryan, and my brother Daniel went upstairs to the attic where they kept the insane women, and we wanted to do just a couple EVPs and stuff from a couple of the rooms that had more energy from Ryan's past experiences. And you don't stand in doorways is something that we really hyped on for this investigation. So Ryan and my brother went in one room, Sammy's experience. And then myself and Sammy were going to go into another room.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ryan, yell at it again.
Can you please stop? Thank you. So you just have to ask.
I was playing with the REM pod going into that, and I was trying to crouch over it to see if I can get energy off of it because Ryan walked past it and I started going crazy. Well, right when I started squatting over it, Sammy was laughing at it. I went to walk in the room around her. As I went to go around her, I looked at her. She was giggling and her hair rose on the side. And you could hear a like that.
No, thank you.
And she walked right out of the room. And I was like, "Did something touch you?" And she's like, "Uh-huh." And we were like, "Oh."
I don't.
So
I would be traumatized.
She was done at that point, and Ryan had to talk to her for a good while because her first
Traumatizing.
hunt, and this happens to her.
If that would have happened to me at Hunters, you would not. I would not be here. I would not be doing another one. Like, I don't like to be touched. Something touches me, I'm done. This is my bubble. Do not come in.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Sammy.
Yeah, it was a rough go for her.
Yeah,
I think that carried over to Hunters. I think she was energetic going in. Then I think her getting drained, or hearing something, or feeling something, just kind of brought back some.
Who knows? They could have just taken too much energy trying to communicate, and it could have just been she was already running out of reserve.
I think she shut down a little too. She was scared for that to happen again.
Yeah.
Too.
Hey, understandable.
She didn't hit many words during Estes. Did you talk to her afterwards? Because we haven't had her on the show.
She said it sounded like some stuff was coming through, but she couldn't make it out.
Okay.
So.
You had that problem as well. Like, remember, there was a time where you had a full sentence and you couldn't make out the full sentence.
Right.
So it's hard on us.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So. All right, so Sammy, I did mine.
Yep. Patty even got to go in there and try it on her own too. So we got the owner. She was able to jump in, try Estes. They stuck around her and Mike, try to see what we were doing. So that was pretty cool. We haven't had one of those investigations yet. So
yeah, any owners, I mean, you invite us in, you want to stick around, and the spirits are used to you.
Right.
So if you feel something and we go in there and you're not there, they might not talk to us.
Sure.
Yeah. They'll be like, who are these strangers?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, the owners want to stick around and maybe try and get some answers. I'm all for it.
And I know when I think it was you did the Estes, they brought up Mike's name.
Yes.
And Mike's one of the owners.
Mike!
And
Mike!
Yeah. And that was neat because talking to Patty, and I'm sure we'll talk to him at another time, but I asked Patty, I said, how did Mike take it? And she goes, well, I'll be 100% honest. She's like, Mike went into it thinking that, it was like any other show. It was going to be exaggerated, that you're going to hear things, all this stuff. But he said that sitting there and actually experiencing it and hearing and seeing the different equipment going off in different sides of the room at random times or collating together, he really got a lot out of it, and he'd love to do it again. So.
Oh, I love that.
You got to think they were there about 4 hours.
Yeah.
So most shows are an hour long.
Yeah.
With commercials, so 40 minutes. Then they did a history, so you get like 25 minutes of evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why you get all that compact stuff. And I would say like Ghost Adventures. Like I like Ghost Adventures because of the history of what they tell. But if they do a half hour of the history of the place, there's no evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way it is.
Now Patty and Mike stayed because when I talked to them, they stayed until about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and we were in the attic doing. What was the box you had upstairs? We had some kind of light box, a ghost box upstairs. And she went up there for about 10 minutes and was experiencing it. And she said that she just all of a sudden got drained and she went downstairs. She's like, Mike, I got to go home. I can't do this. I got to go home.
So
she was done.
I noticed exactly when she left. And I, like I said, I bubble myself. My bubble. And I felt like something was trying to touch my bubble. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like something did not like me up there. It didn't like, at first, I felt like it didn't like girls. Because any of the women in the room, for some reason, I just felt like such a vibe to it. And a very bad word to describe it. Let's see, how can I describe this? It felt like it was watching every single girl in the room. Like, I felt like I was being watched from behind, and as you saw, I was facing nothing. You know, like there was nothing behind me but insulation and a wall. Right. And I felt like something was just like.
Yeah, and you got most, like when you were talking through it, you got most of your answers when you got closer to the box. Mm-hmm. You were getting a lot more hits there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're a little ball of energy, it eludes. I have a very overpouring glass, but
we get that a lot though, like especially through the spirit boxes, women talking, but you can barely hear them because a man is overpowering them. Yes.
Wow, that's strange.
It was mansplaining you, Becca.
We got that at Ross' house too. My daughter did Essence there. Remember, said she was like 2 or 3 females trying to talk, but 2 guys would not let them talk.
Yeah. We get that a lot.
Yeah.
where men hold back the women from talking through it.
Apparently, not much has changed.
You wouldn't know that from this podcast, Becca.
True. I do enjoy.
It's 2025, Becca.
I do enjoy talking with y'all.
No, but it is interesting, the women aspect of it. So we'll go to the attic then. Because we did downstairs and attic, that was it.
Yeah.
So
and those are locations that they don't let anybody go into.
Yeah.
So the general public can only go into the dining room and the bar area.
I think they're saying they want me to go to the basement.
They want you to go to the basement. With Becca?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I really appreciate you guys, but I'm not going to go to the basement. It's just not going to happen.
Would you do a duel with me in the basement?
I think there would have to be more people down there, actually, for me to.
Well, they're always going to be.
I was going to say.
See them.
Yeah, and that's the problem. See, the problem is if I get touched and I can't run, or if I fall and I'm just like trying to like a horror movie crawl out of the basement because I'm freaked out, and I'm just not going to have a good time. So that
but again, you got to make before you do that, we got to make sure the camera's on.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to that basement.
You'll stick with the attic?
I'll stick with the attic.
Like,
oh my goodness. That was my phone. It was my phone.
And it's falling toward the basement.
Yeah,
That's a sign.
It's a sign.
No. You guys tried to do the same thing to me in the attic. No, you guys tried to do the same thing to me in the attic, trying to get me to look. No,
they said yes.
I don't care if they said yes. It wouldn't be the first time I told a man no. It won't be the second time.
But
we're
there for the owners.
No.
God, wouldn't you want to help Patty and Mike get answers, Becca?
Patty didn't want me going down.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So Patty, Mike.
Patty doesn't like the basement. She's never gone down there.
I'm sure you'll watch this because you like watching our stuff. Let me go in the basement. I just want to do a solo in the basement.
I'm not going.
Ryan's known as the basement solo guy.
Yes, I love solos. Don't worry, I won't get hurt. I have no feelings, so they won't get hurt either. So, comment on this podcast. Let me go in the basement next time.
Don't look at me for any reassurance. I'm not going to condone this behavior.
Maybe Becca will join us.
No, I already said no. How many times do I have to say N?
So I think
you understand.
I think it's a good idea. Maybe we have her go to the basement next time we go to Hunters Tavern. Previously Hunters Inn.
We are. that was a true perfect TV moment there.
No, so I mean, you had a bad feeling when you looked into the basement, right? I didn't even look down the steps in the basement.
I mean, so when we were doing the tour, she was just telling us like, oh, these are the basement stairs. And I kind of went over there and like, I looked a little bit down and like, I just immediately said, I just don't have a good feeling.
Right.
Like, and when I don't have a good gut feeling, I will listen to that and just not do whatever it is. That's why I'm so insistent on just no, because I don't have to be told twice no. You told me one time no, and I'm going to listen. Like, okay. Not going.
Yeah.
So if you want to go in the basement, you're more than welcome to. But I'm going to stay on the main floor or the attic. That's it.
So I will not go in the basement. Solo basement. I love solo basements. But my experience with basements, from all the places I've done, usually if it is a dark spirit, they stay down. They don't run the building or house. From all the experiences I've had with basements. So if there is something bad down there, they usually just stay in the basement.
As they should. I'm not on the main floor. Stay in the basement, you weirdo.
And that's the problem with doing investigations. Like Hunters Tavern never been investigated before. We're going there asking questions. So is that going to draw other spirits there?
Yeah.
Right.
Is that going to draw something from the basement up? Like, hey, I want to talk to.
Right.
So it's good that someone could go down there and say, hey, no, this is your spot. You don't leave this spot.
Yeah. And I mean, there might be something to the womanhood thing. I mean,
maybe we should get some salt. Pour down the stairs.
Moon water.
Moon water.
We'll put a bowl of moon water in front of the door.
What if I trip over it, though?
You could.
No, the spirit.
Oh, it would? Maybe just some black onyx, was it?
Hearing guys talk about anything like magical or crystal related, they must feel like this when this is how girls feel when most of the time you guys talk about cars.
Obsidian.
Obsidian.
Yes. Obsidian was the bug spray of rocks. We were told.
Is that what we were told?
Was it obsidian?
Yeah.
I mean, obsidian is very much protection. I mean,
if you throw it at somebody. Thank you for those traps off. That's it.
Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Also,
Becca Freshley on all social media platforms or BeccaFresh.com. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one.
stay fresh.
Don't forget the talk.